Show ahead, our final look at Jaguars-Bengals. The Jags lost back in week 2. Wide receiver and defensive back dynamics. Brian Thomas Jr. has been in the news this week. Travis Hunter always is in the news. We'll see if he's going to play a little more defense moving ahead. Who knows? And then, of course, a week 3 preview, the Texans and the Jaguars. A series dominated all time by the Houston Texans. The Jaguars trying to win at home against Houston for the first time in a long time. Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. JP Shadrick, John Oehser. We're at the Hyundai Studios, the Miller Electric Center. Bucky Brooks is in Los Angeles, California. It is week 3, and it's divisional play. Bucky, are you ready?
I am ready. I'm excited. I think this is the perfect game for the Jaguars to get a bounce back, playing a bitter division rival, some familiar faces, all that. It works.
Yeah, I think it's a huge game. And look, I get that fans may see this team right now and see 1-1 and see whatever, but what they've done in the first 2 weeks, I feel like they're ready to go into a division game, and where there might be some pushing around and push back. That's my thing this week. If the Texans push, the Jaguars are going to push back, and the Jaguars believe they can push against anybody. So I think this is a huge game on that front.
And we'll dig into the opponent coming up here in just a little bit, the Houston Texans. Of course, the Jaguars do lead the league in rushing yardage and takeaways on defense as well. So some good things going on. Let's get our last look at the Jaguars-Bengals matchup. The aftermath of the loss, there was a lot of focus, of course, on the performance of Brian Thomas Jr., 4 catches on 12 targets, and Brian Thomas Jr. in the locker room today.
Nah, I wouldn't call it a slump. I mean, just got to go out there and execute, make the plays. I wouldn't say I'm in a slump or nothing. Just got to, when my name called, my number's called, you got to go out there and execute, make the plays. That's it.
You think it's an overreaction to a couple of games? Or one game?
I don't really. People look at it how they look at it. People got their own opinions of everything. So, I mean, you can look at it how you look at it, however you want to look at it. I know, like I said, I know what I'm capable of. I know what I can do. So, yeah, everybody got their own opinion, so it is what it is.
And it's Brian Thomas Jr. in the locker room today. Earlier today, the head coach, Liam Cohen, still has confidence in his wide receiver.
Just like anybody on this team, nobody was pleased with the outcome, right? And we had some good conversations, really good conversations. And everybody was frustrated. But at the end of the day, he's got a great opportunity to bounce back, as does the rest of our team, and feel really confident about that.
That's the head coach. Of course, Trevor Lawrence spoke on this as well. That press conference at Jaguars.com and Jaguars YouTube, John. And Bucky, it was a tough look, honestly, on Sunday. And I'm curious how this bounces back. It's going to be a storyline, it feels like, until it's not. How does he kind of snap out of this thing as a wide receiver?
The best thing you can do is just kind of focus play by play. You hope that Liam goes to him early so he can build some confidence and kind of move past it. But in anything, every time you have a series of drops, you do lose a little confidence. So the way that he handles the early part of the game, whether he catches one, whether he drops one, how does he move forward with the next one? I think, if anything, a lot of it has to be resolved on the practice field, setting a routine, going through it, making sure your fundamentals are right. But at the end of the day, he's right. When his number's called, you got to make the play.
Yeah, and I'm not going to belabor it because everybody knows he's also got to go up strong for the ball. I mean, it was a bad look coming over the middle when it looked like he shied away. Again, we're not going to dwell on that, but it was there. So, Bucky, I agree with you, but I also think you're not going to get hit like that in the practice field. So in a game, he has to go up and make strong plays for the ball. I think he will. And I think the Jaguars, by the way everybody talked about it was exactly right. Let it fade in terms of a topic as much as it can. And if he goes out and plays well, this will be a 1 week story, and in 2 or 3 weeks, people won't remember it, or it'll be, yeah, man, okay, yeah, I don't remember it. But he's got to do that, Bucky.
Yeah, he does have to do it now. Because we were talking about the drops, I didn't even mention the alligator arm situation, but that's what it is. I think there are a few different things that are in play when it comes to that. One, like most young receivers, they have to get used to catching with their body when they're in traffic. As much as we love kind of like the high school approach, hey, catch everything with your hands. When you're in traffic, sometimes it's better to catch with your body because what it allows you to do is brace yourself for contact. So he has to get used to that. Those are things that have to be worked on and practiced. And he can do that with the jugs machine and other things where they can get him comfortable with that. Another part of it comes to Trevor when you're throwing the ball to a receiver in traffic. There are ways that you can kind of put the ball on the body of the receiver to protect him. So as much as Brian Thomas Jr. needs to protect Trevor, Trevor needs to protect him with the placement of the ball in traffic. The ball is high, he's exposed. All of that those are human reactions, no matter how courageous we want him to be. So they both can tighten up in some of those areas to make sure they don't have those kind of situations that showed up last Sunday.
Hey, Bucky, are they running different routes with him this season in this offense than maybe when he was successful last year? Does it feel different?
I mean, the offense is different than what it was, but the offense should be one where he can be showcased. He's going to have to look. Every receiver has to go in between the hashes and deal with the boogeymen that are there. And there are ways that you do it. There are ways that they teach you how to run routes to protect yourself. So, for instance, if I'm coming across the middle, I need to work downhill as opposed to uphill, because what it does is if I'm coming down on the square end, now the defender hits my back as opposed to hit me in a full frontal shot. So it's understanding the little nuances of how to work down my stem routes and all of that stuff. So as a young receiver, he's still working through that. He can't turn it down like he turned down, because then what that does is that brings his courage into question. And then every defender in the league now takes that and they talk about that and becomes a feeding frenzy when it comes to trying to deliver a big shot, even though they're always trying to deliver a big shot on a wide receiver.
Yeah, I'll clarify here, JP. When I said at the top he's got to go up stronger, as I wrote in the Ozone this week, anytime you talk about this topic, and it always gets talked about whenever a receiver doesn't quite go after it, it's being talked about more because it was a little more obvious the other day. But it's always tough to, everybody in this day and age wants to assign blame to everybody. Wants to say it's 100% this or things are 1% this. Anytime a quarterback throws across the middle and the receiver's going after it, there's two parties at play. The quarterback could have done a little better. Receiver has to go up. So I don't know, all of what goes into that because I've never gone across the middle like that. But to Bucky's point, it can't continue to be a thing that he's defined by. I don't think it has to be something that he's defined by because it's only been one game. But he can't have a look like that over and over and over again.
Spotlight will be on it moving ahead. That's the way that's going to work. It feels like in the building this week that, if this kind of game were to have happened for the Jaguars in the last year or two, the sky would fall. I woke up on Monday morning and the sky was still up there, Bucky. And that kind of has been the feeling in the building this week. Hey, it's a loss, should have won, some mistakes we made as a team. And that's a good sign that, okay, nobody's freaking out yet, right?
100%. I mean, all these games are learning lessons, right? And early in the year, what you're trying to figure out is who do we need to be and who ought we be? Like, who we want to be a certain team, we want to play a certain way, but then you start playing games. And at some point you have to pivot and you have to play to what the team is. Right now, we're still in the discovery phase of our team. There's some things to like. Love to talk about the turnovers, the rushing game. Like when we talk about the commitment to the running game, the fact that we're number one after 2 weeks, that's great. The turnovers are coming in droves. The pass rush is heating up. There's some really good things to like. The part that we have to be better at when it comes to winning games is really eliminating the mistakes that really cause the game to unravel. The turnovers, the penalties, the big plays allowed when we one-on-one. I'll say this, the Bengals dominated the kicking game. If you look at field position, the kickoff returns, they crushed it where the Jaguars struggle. Those are things that are within the control of our team. And if you just take care of those things, you become a team that is very, very difficult to beat. And you really don't even have to do anything schematically to make those things happen.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons why the sky didn't feel like it was falling. I think and I don't talk about leadership a whole lot because I think that becomes a little bit of a crutch in analysis sometimes. But I do think this locker room believes in its leaders like Jordan Lewis, Hainsey, guys who've been around a little bit. I also think they believe in Liam Cohen's message and his approach. And Bucky, I think the fact that they have run well and the offensive line has played well, and I think if you watch these games, you can see where that feels like it's going to be around all year. I mean, this does not feel like a fluky leading the league in rushing. And I also think the players are saying, guys are getting open. This offense is working, and there's no I think they think they're going to have plenty of opportunities in every game and be able to move the ball. I think they're confident that they are going to be able to get to that identity that Liam's talking about. I think they feel that. And I don't know that every team that's 1-1 and has lost one feels that way. I think there's a real foundation being built there that I think they trust that it's going to be there for them going forward.
Yeah, I mean, the credibility comes from your words and your actions aligning. So when you talk to the team about we're going to be committed to the run, your actions have to show that you're committed to the run. Through 2 weeks, the Jaguars have been committed to the run, and I would say they could be even more committed to the run in some of those situations in Cincinnati. But the success that they're having on the ground, the success that guys are having in terms of getting open and those things, even though the execution part of it may be faulty, you can believe in the schematics, the philosophy, offensively and defensively. Everything that they've talked about doing, they've done. And when you get that credibility, it then leads to trust. And trust is essential to being a really, really good team. So those things are steps in the right direction, which is why the sky isn't falling in Jacksonville.
Let's come back and we'll put the rearview mirror away. We're looking forward to Week 3. The Houston Texans are coming to town this Sunday. Celebrate Hispanic heritage and witness history. The Jaguars will take the field for the first time this season in the legendary Prowler throwback jerseys. Lock in your seats. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff time. Go to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. A look at the Houston Texans when we return to Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Reach for the sky.
At Fields, you're never just a customer.
You're a superstar.
You're celebrated. Every visit is personal.
Got your name in lights. You're a superstar.
You're not like the rest. Neither are we. You're a superstar. And at Fields, we treat you like one because luxury isn't just how it looks. It's how it makes you feel.
Visit fieldsauto.com.
Jags fans, this one's for you. If you've got MyGate rewards, you're already in the game. But now you've got a shot at the ultimate prize, meeting QB1 himself, Trevor Lawrence, at Everbank Stadium with 3 friends by your side. With the MyGate Rewards Gatorade Club, every 5 Gatorade items you purchase equals 1 entry toward your chance to win. Stack them up and score big. See store for details. Gear up for the season. Gates got you.
The kick is up. It's good.
Field goals for Firehouse Subs are back. That means when the Jags score from deep, you do too. Anytime the Jags score a field goal that's 40 yards or more, you can get a free medium sub with the purchase of any other medium sub online or in the app for 4 days following the game. So cheer on the Jags, watch for the big kicks, and get your buy one, get one free medium sub at participating Firehouse Subs throughout Jacksonville when you use the app. The hottest subs in Duval. See firehousesubs.com for offer terms.
Hi, it's Sam Kavaris. Just like the best players to ever wear the Jaguars black and teal, Echo East Coast Transportation is reliable when it counts. As the team's official transportation provider, they've been getting the Jaguars players, staff, and executives where they need to be, safely and on time, for more than a decade, with the newest vehicles and professional drivers. Call them at 904-631-5466 or find them online at ectjax.com and use the code SAM in the special instructions for your 15% Jaguars discount.
there's a general confidence, I think, from this group right now, even after the result at the end of the last game. Frustrating, disappointing, but a great learning lesson for us to be able to go and say, hey, look, guys, we got to take it out of, and we're not going to get a call. We're not going to put it in other people's hands. We got to go take it, and it's on us to go do that. Nobody else is going to do it for us.
Liam Cohen, Jaguars head coach, earlier today as we move forward to Week 3. The Jaguars and the Houston Texans coming up this Sunday at Everbank Stadium. And if you've always wanted an autographed jersey or an exclusive VIP experience with the Jags, it could be all yours today. Go to jaguars.com/sweepstakes and learn how you could be the next fan to win big. Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks continues. JP Shadrick, John Oehser in Jacksonville, Bucky Brooks in Los Angeles, California. And we look ahead to the Houston Texans. It's a series that has been dominated by Houston for the most part, and they have now a streak of games that they have won here in Jacksonville as well. Texans, as you see there, lead the series big, 31-15, and have won 18 of the last 22 meetings. Last Jags win a couple years ago, 2023. It was part of that stretch run, and then, of course, the last Jaguars home win was the 2017 season. That has been a while. So at some point, that's got to change, Bucky and John.
Well, here, it's your show, Buck, but I'll take this one off the top. I don't get the idea that the players in this locker room feel that graphic because of this. The Jaguars weren't good last year, but they played toe-to-toe with the Texans here. I mean, it wasn't like they drove them off the field. That was a close game. They beat them over there in 22 and 23 and beat them. And I get that it's not the same locker room anymore, but guys like Josh Hines-Allen and Trevor and those guys were here. And they went over there in a big game in 23. It was really the last big game they won under that regime. But handled the Texans. So I don't know that this is a monkey off the back, oh, we can't beat the Texans kind of game. I will say, with this regime getting started, you want to be able to beat your division teams at home and feel like, hey, this is our house, all that stuff. It matters very much in that regard. I don't know that there's this feeling in the locker room. Like I can see the Colts with this streak that they're on in this stadium having a weird feeling about the Jaguars. I just don't know if there's a feeling among the guys in that locker room that there's a hex involved in this series. I could be wrong, but that's just kind of my feel for it.
Well, probably not, John, because some of these guys were there in 23 when they won, so they probably don't see them as, the nightmares of those things. But it is significant that the last home win was a long time ago, 2017, 45-7. That is forever ago.
Jaguars had some bad years during that. They lost to a lot of teams, but
they did. But that's a lot of we see them every year. That's right. A lot of losses.
No, I got you.
In a row.
One of those was at Wembley too. One of those was at Wembley. So not all here.
Good point.
I mean, still a lot of losses. I think the big thing is not really focusing on the Texans and making it bigger than what it is in the division. More so, can we get back on track and play our brand of ball? I think that's what you would like to see. You've seen it in spurts and flashes. Got to see the run game be able to finish games out in the fourth quarter, and got to see the receivers close things out when they have opportunities. And then defensively, it's the same thing. We can play zone all day, but at some point, man, you have to drop your nuts and go for it. And can Tyson Campbell and those guys hold up on the outside? Travis Hunter, Jermaine Jones, all those guys. They have to hold up in man-to-man coverage in those got-to-have-it moments. Otherwise, it's going to be some long drives against us, and it's going to be hard to close games out when you don't have the ability to play any man-to-man.
Let's take a look at C.J. Stroud, of course, a former first-round pick, second overall selection in 2023 out of Ohio State. He's 3-1 against the Jaguars all time, 7 touchdowns. Has not thrown a pick against the Jaguars. Of course, now this Jaguars defense leads the league in takeaways through 2 weeks with 6 of them. They'd love to get some of that going. This is a similar, though, feel, at least early in his career statistically, to what Joe Burrow has had to go through with all the hits and the contact, and they've had offensive line issues down in Houston. What kind of matchup is this for the Jaguars' defensive line this week? And obviously they're going to stop the run to earn the right to rush the passer, and when they do, what can Stroud do in the pocket?
Look, man, this dude is phenomenal in the pocket. If you give him a clean pocket, he'll pick you apart. He operates with surgical precision. He has great anticipation, timing, accuracy, ball placement is on point. It's about being protected. When you get him off the spot, he's athletic, but he's not the greatest athlete. He's not a guy that flees the pocket and is looking to really torch you with his legs. He wants to do his damage with his arms. The Jaguars have to know where he's at, rush to the depth of the drop, not beyond it. Don't give him any escape hatches where his legs become an issue. And then it's really, you got to tackle the big guys outside. Nico Collins and company, they're good with the ball in the hands. You have to tackle. If you tackle well, you have a chance to get off.
Look, I like Stroud a lot, and I think the Texans made a great pick. I think he's the guy they build around. He's not elite yet, not mature elite yet, where if you get to him, I get that they haven't picked him and they got to change that because you're not going to beat very many teams this league if you can't intercept their quarterback every now and then.
Yeah.
But I think he's still a guy who is having to prove his way into that upper group. And I think he still will make a play every now and then in a game that gives you a shot at him. And I guess every quarterback does, but I still think he's trying to get there, Bucky. And I think this is a big year for Stroud. I don't think accelerated last year like I thought he would. And again, if he didn't play for the Texans, I'd say I hope he does accelerate because I like him and I like the way he plays. But I can't say I hope he does. But I still think there is some young quarterback stuff there that good teams can go get, and I'm curious to see if the Jaguars can generate the pass rush this week to take advantage of where he's still developing to.
Yeah, look, I think there's so many different things to talk about with C.J. Stroud. Like, one, he did play phenomenally as a rookie, but last year wasn't great. This year, he hasn't got off to the greatest start. The thing that always impacts you as a coach, you remember when. You remember when he played that A-plus game against you. You remember him making maneuvers to get outside the pocket and deliver darts down the field. You remember all of those things. And even though the personnel around him is different, man, it's still a talented group. They have playmakers that can run the football. Nick Chubb showed up. They can give you problems and put him in his comfort zone. I think the number one thing that you have to do with the Jaguars, you got to stop the run, so that's not an issue. And then you have to figure out how you're going to have enough defenders in coverage to not only keep him from taking shots down the field, but to keep him from making those improvisational plays that he is prone to do, even though he's not an A-level athlete.
I'm going to ask a question for the scout. I get Nico Collins really good. How special are they at receiver outside of him this year?
I mean, he's the one, right? He's the one that everyone will talk about. Christian Kirk is a good player. Obviously, we had him for a few years. We know what he can do. He's projected to come back. Well, that establishes their pecking order in terms of who's going to get what, how many bites at the apple they're going to get, and those things. The main thing with them, they're so young. Man, throw a blanket over Nico Collins. Don't let him be the one. Don't get hit with the right hand like Canelo. Don't keep getting hit with the right and left over and over and over again without making an adjustment. So hopefully we'll make some adjustments, make sure we don't let Nico Collins go crazy. Try and find somebody else for them to lean on. But they're still a very talented team. Mm-hmm. Don't let their slump or the fall off on Monday think it's going to be easy. It's going to be a tough game for the Jags. Still got to match up right.
Let's return and take a look at the Texans' defense. Good group there on all levels. We'll dig into that coming up. And if you want Jaguars customized furniture for your home, check out zipchair.com and browse all customizable options. ZipChair, furniture for fans. It's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Reach for the sky.
At Fields, you're never just a customer.
You're a superstar.
You're celebrated. Every visit is personal.
Got your name in lights. You're a superstar.
You're not like the rest. Neither are we. You're a superstar. And at Fields, we treat you like one because luxury isn't just how it looks. It's how it makes you feel.
Visit fieldsauto.com.
It's game time, Jaguars fans. This season, feed your fandom with the Jaguar sub from Publix, the official supermarket of your Jacksonville Jaguars. Wow! Sink your teeth into crispy chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, melted cheddar, sweet coleslaw, and smoky barbecue mayo, all stacked on a fresh white roll. Taste the hype only at Jacksonville Publix locations. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Watch the game, host your crew, or just unwind at BC Grill and Patio at Sheridan Jacksonville, part of the Marriott family of hotels. Enjoy craft cocktails, tasty bites, and indoor-outdoor seating perfect for watch parties, happy hours, and events. Mention this radio ad for 10% off food and drinks. Visit SheridanJacksonville.com or call 904-564-4772.
Chelsea here, ready to upgrade your windows or patio doors? Right now during the Renewal by Anderson's Big BOGO event, buy one, get one 40% off, plus zero money down, zero payments, and 0% interest for 18 months. At Renewal by Anderson, our Acclaim Impact Replacement windows are built for Florida homes and designed to help you save money on your energy bills by maintaining indoor temperatures year-round. Offer expires September 30th. Restrictions apply. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free design consultation. License number CGC 1527613.
Being in that division in LA with San Fran, right? Very, very similar structure, the way that they come off the rock, the way that they want to disrupt. We have got to have another sound plan when it comes to protecting the quarterback, but also in the run game, manufacturing different ways to manipulate those guys. Like I said, it takes all 11, but specifically the way that they want to roll off and come off the rock and play. Talented, got a lot of respect for the way that those guys play the game and can be very disruptive.
Liam Cohen, Jaguars head coach, on the pass rush for the Houston Texans. They'll have to face it this Sunday, 1 o'clock kickoff time. The game presented by UF Health, the official healthcare partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and should be a good matchup. This is the defensive coverage of the game presented by GEHA, Government Employees Health Association, benefits for federal employees and retirees. And yes, we focus on that pass rush led by Will Anderson Jr., defensive end for the Houston Texans. That's priority number one when slowing down the first-round pick, who's picked the selection after they traded up and got him right after C.J. Stroud in the same draft. 4 games, 10 tackles against the Jags. Has not had a sack yet against the Jaguars, but he's been in the backfield a little bit, 3 quarterback hits in his time. 20 career sacks now, Bucky. This him combined with Danielle Hunter and the big fellas on the inside of the interior. It's the front line of a really thorough defense, it feels like. What do they do best?
I mean, they just get after it. I mean, they're a little salty group. They get after it. They can do it with pressure. They can do it when they have 4-man rushes. They're a talented collection of guys up front, and they're physical as it comes. And when you look at that entire defense, man, they can hit, run, cover, they tackle, they bring it. They make you play on their terms. And the person who isn't listed, who is a guy that can stir it up, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, Florida kid, is going to be jacked up to be able to come back kind of close to where he did his thing in college. He is going to be a guy that can kind of spark the party. He loves to talk. He loves to engage. And in that defense, on that defense where he's playing, he's not only a playmaker, but he has an opportunity to be a punisher. This is a team that's going to get at it. They believe that they're the bullies on the block within the division. They want to play a style that makes us back up. So it'd be interesting to see how this version of the Jaguars responds to the physicality and toughness that the Texans typically like to impose on their opponents.
That's the story of the game. I mean, that's the theme of the game. And to me, it's the theme that will set the tone probably for the division, this series, for the next couple of years. The Jaguars think that they're a physical team that'll punch you in the mouth. The Texans think they're a physical team that'll punch you in the mouth. And it really matters when the Jaguars on defense and the Texans too. But it's really, to me, this running game that is really impressive. Can they run against the Texans teams that thinks it'll stop it?
Yeah.
I'm ready for Sunday at 1 o'clock.
Yeah. We'll find out.
We'll talk about the game the rest of the week, Buck, but that's really what it is. The Texans will push. Can the Jaguars push back?
I mean, look, this is what it is, right? We talk about the record, 31-15. This is almost like the classic bully story. We keep going to the cafeteria. They keep taking our lunch money. They keep doing the stuff. And at some point, we either have to respond or we keep giving it away. And I feel like this version of this team, look, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a cafeteria fight. Now, hope nothing breaks up. We don't have a fracas. But if it's going to be about the physicality, and we've talked about having an edge and a physicality to us, the rubber's going to meet the road on Sunday. So we're going to have an opportunity to see who we are and what we're really about against a physical team that is going to throw up a mirror and let us know exactly who we are.
And, of course, there's all of the history of the last season's game here where Trevor Lawrence got knocked out of the game, and there were 2 ejections in the game. Al-Shaair and Jarian Jones for the Jaguars got ejected, and we're going to watch it again. It's been a little while, in case you haven't forgot. That's what happened late in the season, and Trevor Lawrence never played again in 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're not going to emphasize that play publicly, the Jaguars.
No, they tried to bait him in the locker room a few times today, and they weren't really going there.
And I do think, they shouldn't emphasize it, and they really shouldn't emphasize it inside the walls because you have to concentrate on your job at hand. But if they're pushed this weekend, I think they'll push back. So I think that'll
100%.
Yeah.
I believe the pushing will start from the top, too. I believe the first people in there are the people at the head of the program. I think look, Liam talked about the rivalry between the Rams and the Niners. Living in LA, I can tell you how contentious that rivalry is. So I think rather than run away from that tension, I think you run towards it. And everyone has to know, hey, man, this is what it is. It's Texans week, and this is what it's going to be, and it's going to continue to be like that. That's what it has to be. It has to be a physical affair on both sides of the ball. They hit our quarterback, we got to hit their quarterback. Simple as that.
Let's come back. We'll get our final thoughts ahead of this Week 3 matchup. The Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars coming up. But it's Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.
Reach for the sky.
At Fields, you're never just a customer.
You're a superstar.
You're celebrated. Every visit is personal.
Got your name in lights. You're a superstar.
You're not like the rest. Neither are we. You're a superstar. And at Fields, we treat you like one because luxury isn't just how it looks. It's how it makes you feel.
Visit fieldsauto.com.
What's the best part about lawn care during the winter? You can give it a rest. Lawns only need watering up to once a week. Really, that's it. Using less water means you're saving time and money that you can put towards something else. Before you run your sprinklers, remember, give it a rest and only water up to once a week. For more information, visit waterlessflorida.com.
Jags fans, this one's for you. If you've got MyGate rewards, you're already in the game. But now you've got a shot at the ultimate prize, meeting QB1 himself, Trevor Lawrence, at Everbank Stadium with 3 friends by your side. With the MyGate Rewards Gatorade Club, every 5 Gatorade items you purchase equals 1 entry toward your chance to win. Stack them up and score big. See store for details. Gear up for the season. Gates got you.
Watch the game, host your crew, or just unwind at PC Grill and Patio at Sheridan Jacksonville, part of the Marriott family of hotels. Enjoy craft cocktails, tasty bites, and indoor-outdoor seating perfect for watch parties, happy hours, and events. Mention this radio ad for 10% off food and drinks. Visit SheridanJacksonville.com or call 904-564-4772.
communication, whether it's making sure I'm really clear in the huddle of, all the different tags and formations and adjustments, and then also guys just staying in the huddle for the entirety of the call and making sure we're hearing all the little additions, especially on the road. That was our first, road test, and you get some noise and a little easier to let some little things slip as far as details go in the huddle. So I think it's just a good reminder for us that we got to be sharper. And then just overall operation, moving a little quicker so we have more time at the line of scrimmage and we're not rushing.
Trevor Lawrence, Jaguars quarterback, asked about all the pre-snap penalties last week and shifts and a lot of flags in last week's loss to the Bengals. That was his answer today. Full press conference at Jaguars.com and Jaguars YouTube. The Jags had, 6 legal shifts. All were declined, but that was the topic of conversation there with the quarterback. Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks, brought to you by Fields Auto Group Jacksonville. See Fields first, Jacksonville's premier luxury auto group. Go to fieldsauto.com. We take a look at the AFC South standings through 2 weeks, and of course this Texans-Jaguars game could be a really big swing. If the Jaguars can get a win, then that would mean they're a couple games clear of the defending champs of the division. The problem right now, though, is the Indianapolis Colts all of a sudden have not punted yet this season. They're 2-0.
Yeah, it's an interesting spot for the Texans. Look, they want to be playing the Jags, don't get me wrong, because it's a good chance for them to get back into the division. But they have desperate team syndrome, which often in the NFL means a lot when you are desperate and clawing your way out. And if they were playing a team in a different situation, if they were playing a 2-0 team, I would say the Texans had an edge. But the Jaguars, I cannot imagine that this will not be the most motivated and the most ready this team has been this season for this game. I mean, this has a big game feel for the Jaguars. So I guess what I'm getting at, Bucky, is I don't know that desperate team syndrome, which I do think is real in the NFL, I don't know that plays into it as much because I feel like the Jaguars are going to play that way too.
Yeah, normally in division games, there's a heightened sense of urgency. Let's get to it. We know what it is. We win a division. It guarantees us a ticket to the dance. Let's make sure we take care of business. Normally, you talk about the record, you're just trying to be 3-1 every quarter. That'll give you not only a guarantee of a playoff bid, it probably puts you in the mix to have home field advantage and all that other stuff. For the Jaguars, you drop one, you got to get right back on track. It just so happens that it's the Houston Texans, but when you look at the Texans and you watch how that game played out against Tampa, there's some things that really work out well for the Jaguars. We have to make sure that we just take care of our business. If we don't beat ourselves, the game is going to be right there in the end for us to win it. It's just a matter of making sure we control the turnovers, the penalties, the big plays, and we got to make sure we dominate the kicking game. We do that, chalk up the dub.
I think for the Jaguars too, JP, I think it's a team speed game. We haven't quite seen the speed on offense that we sort of know is there have a big play. Like it's mattered. It's played into it. Bayshell Tootin is the real deal. But it feels, Bucky, like they're going to get an explosive at some point where that speed, maybe it's Bayshell Tootin on a screen or something. They're going to break one for a touchdown at some point with that team speed. I kept saying they were going to benefit from explosives in the preseason. They benefited from being a really good running team even without the explosives. But it feels like at some point they're going to go. They're going to take one to the house, and this is the kind of game where that can sort of tilt it.
Yeah, absolutely. Talk about taking one to the house and how it could tilt it. I just think it's important that in these games that are rivalry games that are going to be big and our fans are going to be there and they're going to want to see blood sport, we still got to focus on the execution, the effort, and those things. You can't make it an ego game where you try to prove a point to the opponent and those things. As a Jaguar, stick to the script, execute offense, defense, special teams. Really keep it simple and make it about, hey, let's just see what it looks like if we are able to execute at a high level, regardless of who the opponent is. They'll handle the Texans, but they also will begin to build the kind of team that can make some noise as we get later in the year.
Bucky, great stuff as always. Another show in the books, and we'll see you here in Jacksonville on Sunday. Safe travels, man.
All right, Buck.
I mean, thanks. All right, guys.
Bucky Brooks fired up for a divisional game this Sunday, the only divisional game for the Jags in the first 9 weeks of the season. Coming up this Sunday. For Bucky Brooks, John Oehser, I'm JP Shadrick. Our thanks to Joe Fortunato, Brent Reber, David Cho, and thanks to you for watching Huddle Up with Bucky Brooks.